Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm up here at the park, going to do a little flying. But before I fly, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about remote ID again and some follow-up thoughts that I had and some things that I've read and people said, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of give you my thoughts on all this mess. So first off, to anybody who's complying, don't hate you. You do what you got to do. For those not complying, good for you. Do what you got to do. So that being said, some cool, interesting things for those complying. I saw on Bardwell's stream, you probably already seen this, the ELRS guys have been working on maybe a way of something that could be used for remote ID and being able to get certified and all that kind of stuff. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, that would be a good way of getting more compliance, would be to make it easier. Although, I mean, there will be those who won't comply regardless, but so that's a good thing. I saw there is one company who has a remote ID module, and they've got a firmware update that allows you to be compliant with remote ID to where like law enforcement and stuff can see where you're at and everything, but the typical user with their smartphone can't. So I think that's a cool thing. I think that needs to be the norm. I'm not sure what the actual rules and regulations are on all this stuff with that, because I haven't seen the actual FAA documents on the spec for making something that's compliant with remote ID. If someone knows, that would be great to hear. But apparently, there's a firmware update that you can get for this one particular manufacturer that allows you to have remote ID compliance, but not broadcast your information, your location, to users who have the smartphone. They would see where your drone is, they wouldn't see where you are. Or maybe they don't even see where your drone is. I can't remember. It might be both things that it's not even showing. I'm not sure. Anyways, so that's kind of interesting. There seems to be more and more modules coming out, which is good. Hopefully price will come down for those who need to comply, and hopefully there will be some nice all-in-ones for those who would like to comply and be able to do so easily. Hopefully they get to that point, because if it's a bit of a headache where you've got to add a GPS and all that kind of stuff, the vast majority of people are not going to comply unless it's easy. If it's not easy, they definitely won't comply. The people that are on the fence might comply if it's easy, but that'll kind of depend. And now to some of the responses. I've got a lot of positive feedback, which was great. Appreciate all the positive feedback. Had a lot of negative feedback too. Had people tell me basically they're very apathetic and they're like, the time's already passed, you can't do anything, and I don't see why you're wasting your time doing this, nothing's going to change. I think it will. Maybe not as a direct result of people making videos like myself, but awareness of things is always a good thing. Now, Bardwell mentioned that someone well known, he didn't say who it was, had said they would rather everybody keep quiet, and maybe it goes away then. If you raise awareness, then you might have more scrutiny. I don't know. I can see that, and I can see the other side of it, so I'm not sure. I favor awareness myself. I think it's much better to have people aware of what's going on so they can be informed about it, and so they can understand the actual comings and goings of stuff and the actual risks and all that kind of stuff. Because I think unknown stuff, people fear more than if they know about it. So, if they don't know about something, they might be a little more skeptical about it than if they do know about it. And if they see more and more people and they watch these videos and they see all these nerds and these normal looking people, and they're like, oh, they're not crazy past, they're not, just, or whatever, trying to spy on me, maybe that's a good thing. I think that'd be a good thing. Had some comments from people who apparently think that it's all the guys flying these things in bad places and doing all this evil stuff that this came about. Nope, wrong answer. That's not the case. The FAA has been trying to regulate the hobby for a long time. In fact, there was a advisory circular. They've kind of nixed that one now and superseded it with this new law stuff. But the advisory circular you know, they actually were regulating the hobby way back when. That's where the whole 400-foot rule came in, and following guidelines from like the AMA at the time or some other community-based organization now. You know, that was like in 81 when that came out. So, you know, more than 40 years ago. So to those guys, you're wrong. To those thinking it's, you know, the people flying crazy waves, that's really not the case. The vast majority of the calls with the FAA, at least the ones that I've seen most of the time, they would be flying in places that you guys might say were, you know, bad or whatever, and they were like, you didn't do anything wrong. So, you know, take it for it is. As far as how we got to this point, though, we got to this point because the Commercial Drone Alliance got 336 removed out of the law. So there was an exemption in there in the authorization for the FAA for the longest period. I don't know how it got in there, but it's been in there for a long time. And then it got removed because the Commercial Drone Alliance lobbied Congress so that they could then promulgate more rules for drone flying, because 336 exempted hobby flying and stuff from the FAA promulgating rules on the hobbyist. So once they removed that, then they were able to come up with all these new rules and new regulations and start to treat these things like actual aircraft. At least, you know, according to the regulation. In practice, they don't really treat these like aircraft. You know, some have been shot down. Did the FAA do anything about it? Nope. There have been threats of these being shot down. Did the FAA do anything? Nope. So they like to call them aircraft, but they don't like to treat them actually like aircraft other than regulating, but not in practice and protection aspects of it. Anyways, so they got 336 removed, and all this stuff kind of started and went down the way. So, you know, those guys, you know, get your facts straight, get your history straight, you know. And I don't have anything against any hobby. I don't have anything against the GPS guys, the camera drone guys, you know, flying the Phantoms and the Mavics and all that kind of stuff. I don't have anything against the fixed wing guys. I like all the drones. I think they're all cool. There's a few in my neighborhood that fly the Mavics and the little tiny Mavic Mini and stuff. I see those in the area all the time, and every time I see them, I have to smile. It just, you know, I think it's cool. So they don't bother me. I like those things. And I've seen a few guys around flying planes, you know, just driving down the road. I saw some people flying planes one time in a field off on the side of the road, which was cool. Love the plane stuff. I love chasing the planes, man. Those are fun. I haven't got to do that in a long time. Maybe I'll get to do that again sometime. Anyways, just some thoughts that I had on this whole thing. I think in the end, the regulation is going to stick around, but the enforcement of the regulation, I think, is going to wane over time. Now, at first, it may be, you know, they may be full gung-ho. Maybe not. I don't know. It'll all depend on, you know, the modules, how many are available, how easily it is, and then, you know, I think there'll be some enforcement maybe at the beginning. I don't know. Maybe not. I think where you'll mostly see it will be with people that are doing commercial work. Whoever is hiring them will say, show me all your paperwork, make sure you're all on the up and up, and then that'll be the extent of it. That's about what I think is going to happen, and then that I think will stick around. I don't see that going away. I think that'll kind of be the norm in the commercial industry. Now, I think there are some commercial entities who may not care and may not check all that stuff. They may say, hey, you get your 107, and that's about the extent of it. They may not even check the other stuff. You know, I don't know. It'll just depend. That's where that'll happen. And then maybe in some more populated areas, if you're flying in a very populated area, you may have some Karens report you if they don't see your drone on the thing, and the police will show up. Hopefully, in a lot of those cases, it's actually a 250 or below, and then the police will be like, okay, they're not on there. They're probably because they don't actually need to have them on there, and I'm not going to worry about it. And then that'll be the end of that too. And this will all kind of wane and go away. And the law will still be on the books, but the enforcement will be super lax, you know, unless somebody does something really stupid and actually endangers someone or hurts someone, and then, you know, then it'll rear its ugly head. So anyways, that's my thoughts. I'm going to leave you guys with a little flying. I'm getting ready to fly now, and I'll just grab one of the flights here and share that guys with you on the way out. And remember guys, never stop flying, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. That wasn't bad for a first pack. See you guys.